Belinda Farrell is the author of the book Find Your Friggin Joy. I love that. And she graduated with a BA in Spanish and English from the University of California at Berkeley and is trained in hypnotherapy, past life regression, NLP, Hawaiian chanting, and ancient Hawaiian healing. She is trained with Anthony Robbins, and you all know who he is. He's the author of Unlimited Power. She has effectively used these skills all her life and has completed 18 firewalks. I have never even done one, but she has done 18. And when she was 48, she collapsed with herniated discs and spinal nerve damage. Threatened with paralysis by her medical doctors if she didn't have surgery, she insisted instead to choose to apply the ancient Hawaiian healing practices she'd been learning the previous 3 years, which are covered in her book. Her back completely healed, including childhood scoliosis, and for 15 years she has been sharing these healing practices with others, offering Reconnective Healing and Huna classes and taking clients to Hawaii to teach Huna and swim with wild spinner dolphins. Wow, Belinda, that is quite a little resume. And I hope I pronounced Huna correctly. Is that right?
Oh,
H-U-N-A?
yes.
Huna, okay.
Huna. Yes.
Well, I love dolphins, and I love all animals, mammals, creatures. So you're right in my head as well. So let's find out about all these things you've been doing. First of all, where did you come up with the title "Find Your Friggin Joy"?
I think it was just divinely orchestrated. I had a friend who was kind of sad a lot, and I would bring her on my Hawaii trips, and she would help facilitate some of the seminars. But she was always just very sad. And we were watching this turtle one day struggling on the rocks. And she was looking, she said, "Oh, that poor, poor turtle." And I said, "Would you just find your friggin' joy?" It just came out. And then she started laughing. And I had never heard her laugh like that before. And I thought, oh, I hit a button. So I
Yes,
think
you did.
I want to make people feel that, they have a button inside that they can just push and that joy is going to come out. And so it's all about, just uncovering all of the stuff that's, a barrier to that joy right now.
Well, Belinda, you've mentioned a very important word to me, which is joy. I think most people do not have joy in their life. I think they go about their day on rote, and they do what they have to do because they get up, they go to work, they get their kids dressed, they get them to school, they make the dinners, the lunches. There's no time for them anymore. They take kids to every kind of sporting activity there's possibly can be, and finally, come 10, 11 at night, they are so exhausted they can't even remember what they did during the day. So I'm a firm believer in joy. I say I get up with a smile on my face, I go to bed with a smile on my face, and joy is really important. But mentioning a turtle, I have to tell you something this morning. They had in Good Morning America, that was a hoot. They were showing funny pet videos, and they showed one of a turtle having his shell scrubbed with like a scrubbing brush, and that turtle was going back and forth like he was doing a hula, and it was the funniest thing you've ever seen. That it was just going back and forth, right to left, right to left. So I thought that was really, really interesting. But now, you talk about the plaque of your soul. And what is that? What is
Well,
that?
again, we build up all of this negativity that in ancient times it was called cords, or the webs we weave around ourselves. And even in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, it shows that the unconscious mind, which is the part that's running our body, is also the holder of all our emotions, and it's very sticky. So to denote the unconscious, they have a grasshopper, which is like sticky, and emotions stick to you. And so if these accumulate over a period of your lifetime, it can become very heavy and the organs can develop disease. So our life, if we're in an active role of healing, is meant for us to take away this plaque, which I just called it that because I was at the dentist one day and they had to rub the plaque off my teeth. I just thought, wow, what a great analogy to what we have inside of us if we don't remove that plaque, and clean our teeth or clean our souls.
Wow, that's a good analogy. But I have been to a lot, of course, I go to workshops and seminars all the time.
Hmm.
And one of the things that people say who are healers or who are spiritual, they say energy well, they say money is energy. And you say,
Right.
how is our energy like money? And how much of us are conscious of our daily wasting of our energy? And I think that is a very important question because I think that there are so many people who always come up to me and say, "You are so energetic. Where do you get your energy
Yeah.
from?"
Right.
And I think it's because of how I live my life. But what is your definition, or how are we? How do we become conscious of the daily wasting of our energy?
Well, when you finally see how the conscious mind, which is our free will, is really in charge of our thoughts, and as the thoughts come up from the unconscious, the emotional baggage, you have a choice to say, you know what, I'm going to take a walk today, or I'm going to just be grateful for what I have today. I'm not going to concentrate on that stuff from the past, or I'm going to do something different to put myself in the present time. You just become more aware, more conscious, because you'll be exhausted if you keep dredging up, like the seaweed that comes up on the beach. You keep dredging up all that plaque and that heaviness. So the people that have a lot of life force are those that are in the present time. They're creating, they're doing something, um, that motivates them, that gives them passion. And when you become more conscious of that, you're gonna just see when you get angry, you know, for instance, instead of being pissed off, and causing all the veins in your face to pop out, you'll maybe become a teens annoyed. You'll spend maybe 80 cents instead of $80 of the $100 that you're allotted a day of energy.
Well, I think there aren't there people that kind of like to play poor little me. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
I mean, there are people who
Yeah.
wallow in themselves and they keep repeating the same story over and over and over again, and they never seem to move on. And they kind of cause their own illnesses and own lack of energy. But
Right.
one of the things that I think is a legitimate question, because I think I've met more people, including me, with a back pain, lower back pain, and
Mhm.
uh, you had much more than that. But how did you really heal your back without surgery using Huna methods and almost 25 years ago?
Right. Well, you have to go inside and find out what you're saying to yourself daily. And so it's like, what is your inner script? Because whatever you're saying to yourself, the unconscious mind is actualizing, like it's running your body. So I found out that I was saying to myself, I can't support myself. I was raised in a family that went through the Depression. Money was scarce. There was a lot of scarcity. The whole thought was, you can't do it on your own. You've got to get somebody else to help you. You can't support yourself. So then that was my internal dialogue that I kept repeating. And you keep repeating that to the spine, which is supporting you all this time. And finally it says, well, I guess I'm not supporting you anymore. Crash. And that's eventually what happened to me. I had to reverse what I was saying to myself once I got conscious and thank my back for supporting me. Thank it for being flexible. Thank you for remembering to support me. There's a lot of money issues that are in the lower spine, people who don't feel that they have enough, or there's family issues that, it's just support. It's a lot of support. Once I reversed that, then the back started to get stronger. And of course, among other things, the healing took place.
That's very interesting because you would never think that the money issues would be reflected in the back, in the lower back especially. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I have to monitor my back and see when I think about money issues if I get a bigger pain there. But you just returned from Hawaii with
Right.
some of your clients swimming with the dolphins, which is
Oh,
something that I've always wanted to do, and then I always get so busy when I go to places that have it. And I'm here in Florida and we've got swimming with the dolphins here. Were there any new revelations and uh, what did you use as processes for doing this? I mean, there had to be a reason for doing this. And how did your clients feel? I mean, were any of them
Oh,
intimidated, or were they afraid to get in the water with the dolphins initially? Tell us a little bit about that.
well, remember, I too was afraid of water in the beginning. And even though I was a stunt driver, I did that for almost 10 years. I wouldn't go into a swimming pool. Wouldn't even touch water. So to have me be doing this now is completely off the map. And the dolphins came to me when I was in Hawaii taking classes in hypnosis and past life regression. And I started getting dreams of swimming with dolphins and that I could swim. And because I couldn't swim before. So they were teaching me. And then eventually I went out there to be with them. So I come from a place of, I know exactly how the fear runs in people who have never been in the water, or they've been swimming in pools but never in the ocean. It's a whole different ball game. And by the time the middle of the week comes, I mean, they're pros, because this water is warm like your Florida water. And I start talking to the dolphins like right now, preparing my clients or the clients that will come for next year, which is going to be in September. I just start talking to them and preparing them for, for meeting one another. We do rituals, we do ceremonies. We thank the water for bringing the dolphins to us, because these are wild dolphins. There's no, they have to decide that they want to come and swim with us. So we have to prepare our, our psyche, I guess, to be, you know,
You need to communicate to them so they will communicate to you, basically.
right. We have to be, what is the word? I'm looking for the word, desirable, I guess, or fun, or, so that the dolphins are attracted to us. It's like a magnet. They want to come and play, because the dolphins are all about joy. They're all about just really being in the moment, and they don't have the beta self-talk that humans have. They see us as a piece of sheet music that is out of harmony with itself. And so they want to put us back in harmony, and that's why they use the sonar, because the sonar just seems to melt away all the sadness and the fear, and your heart just opens. If you're swimming with someone, you'll fall in love with them. It just,
Wow.
heart is just so open, and it's just so ready for this unconditional love. It transforms people. I think what happens to, once they've been in the water, every one of my clients got dolphins, and I take one client or two clients a week, and I was there for 6 weeks. And one week
Oh, wow. That's
I had
fabulous.
three sisters. They all got dolphins. Everybody did. And
Wow.
it was the most, I mean, you can't even talk, because the words just, there aren't any words for it. It's just transformational. But they come back to the mainland, and they're more expansive. It's almost like they can cut through all the garbage or the things that aren't important. The dolphins give you clarity. And so you know what's important. You just get more clear thinking. You just rise. You rise up to a higher level, a higher frequency. It's all about frequencies. That's why I chant. That's why the dolphins, the reconnective healing that I do, it's all meant to change your frequencies and move you to higher levels.
Well, now you also talk about whales.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference in your communication with dolphins and whales? And other than what you've already said, what do they teach you?
Well, the dolphins, to me, teach us about the unconditional love. They teach us about breathing, because if they don't come up to take a breath every 7 minutes, they will die. And so in like way, we have to come up and breathe through our nose to the top of our head, or we die a spiritual death. Most people, are short of breath. They're breathing through the mouth. They're breathing, panic breathing through the chest. And so they create anxiety by having that type of fight or flight breath. And so if you take the deep breath through the nose, and then ha, and then it's a gradual ha, you start to relax. You start to go into, just peacefulness. And so that's the main thing that I think the dolphins are here to teach. And then the whales are just a bigger variety.